Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, the energy in here is already amazing, and we're just getting started. Let's hear it for all the bold change makers who are here in the room today. Woo! All right, I'm Chase Pickering, born and raised right here in the beautiful mountains of Asheville, North Carolina. I was so honored when the TEDx team approached me to speak here, but they said at age 23, I was now too old to be a youth speaker. So here I am, your adult speaker for today. Okay, so here's my big idea. I believe that passionate young people can benefit our local community organizations by being involved at the highest level of those organizations. That's at the board of directors and the board of advisors. So in today's talk, I want to demonstrate how organizations can successfully engage young people in the public conversation and the decision-making process. I know it's a bold move, but I think I have a little proof here that this could work. So, let me begin by sharing a little bit of my story with you. Ever since I can remember, I've had a passion for caring for wildlife. Here I am taking care of one of the first orphan squirrels I adopted. And when I was 9 years old, I was given this book here, The Chimpanzee Family Book by Jane Goodall. And I remember being 9 years old, sitting in the floor of my room, looking through this book, saying, this is what I want to do. I want to be Jane Goodall's photographer, and I want to help her fulfill her mission of helping save the planet. And so, even though I hadn't met Dr. Jane yet, it was signed for me, and it said, "For Chase, follow your dreams, Jane Goodall." So from that moment on, I set out on an incredible journey to follow my dreams. So at the age of 15, I had the opportunity to first meet Dr. Jane when she visited Warren Wilson College. And it was at that time I heard her talk about her program for young people called Roots and Shoots. Roots and Shoots is all about getting young people involved in their community through community-based projects that help people, animals, and the environment. So I started a Roots and Shoots group at my high school, Carolina Day, and kept getting people, all my friends, involved in what was going on. We started by building a pre-release flight cage for injured and orphaned birds of prey. And it just kept getting more and more involved. And after finishing up high school, I decided to take a year off to go work full-time for the Jane Goodall Institute in Arlington, Virginia as the first youth leadership fellow. And so I went up there, had this amazing year, and the Institute began to realize the importance that my position brought to developing the global Roots and Shoots program. The management began to value my opinion and my fresh perspective. Most importantly, they listened to me, and they treated me as an equal part of the team. So upon finishing up my year-long fellowship, Dr. Jane and the rest of the management team wanted to make a long-term commitment to ensuring that the youth voice was going to be heard at the highest level of the organization. So, at the age of 19, the Institute invited me to serve on the board of directors for the Jane Goodall Institute USA with full voting rights. It's like, wow, this is really an honor. Here I was now representing all of the young voices involved in our program around the world, and at an internationally renowned organization. And I had absolutely no idea what the heck I was doing. So I felt a little bit like this monkey here, this goofy monkey that I recently met in Zanzibar. So fortunately for me, Dr. Jane and several of the other board members took me under their wing, and they taught me board etiquette. They showed me when to jump into the conversation and when not to. And so having this experience at a very young age, I have since become an advocate for these kinds of community opportunities that fundamentally change a young person's leadership ability. And so that's why I believe we need to include more young people at the board of directors and board of advisors levels here in our local communities organizations. So, yes, thank you. I mean, we have so many great organizations here that aim to serve youth or empower youth or engage youth, yet they are so disconnected to what's actually happening there on the ground. And so what better way to know your audience or get to know your audience than having one of them as a part of your team? And so I feel that those organizations that are serving youth are going to do it most effectively if the youth voice is being heard at the highest level of the organization. All right, so there are 4 components, key components that I want us to go through today. First, we have mentorship. And this is incredibly important. The young person needs a point person who can help guide them into their role as they find the beat and rhythm of becoming an effective board member. And the mentor and the mentee should be brought together through their common passion. Number 2, we have commitment. This is a commitment from both the organization and the young person. And this commitment comes from the organization in the form of covering the cost to ensuring that the young person can get to the meeting and making sure that they have a mentor. Also, from the young person's perspective, they have to commit to time. So number 3, we have engagement. It is so crucial that young people have exposure to the entire decision-making process of an organization. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they have to feel welcomed to be a part of phone conferences, board meetings, and have access to privileged information so that they can fully understand the full picture of what's happening within the organization. Last, we have representation. Young people are powerful spokespeople and fundraisers. Young people who have been involved in organizations have an incredible story to tell. And that story usually resonates with donors. So today we have many young people here in the audience who are talented and motivated to help organize or advise our local organizations. We also have community leaders here who are in the positions to help elevate and value the youth voice here in our community. So I want to challenge each and every one of you here today. During our breakout sessions, go outside of your comfort zone and connect with people. So for those for those community leaders here, perhaps you can take some of these young people under your wing and become their mentor and help prepare them for a leadership role. You should become buddies with them, just like these gorillas here I met in Rwanda a few weeks ago. They're pretty awesome being this close with these gorillas. And so finding these people in this room will really bring that true youth wisdom to your organization, and that's what you need to find. Also, constantly ask for their opinion. Listen, and then listen some more. All right, for all those young people in the room here with a huge idea, I want you to seek out a mentor, and I want you to learn, and then learn some more. Maybe most importantly, never be afraid to speak up, and never let your voice go unheard. This was one of the most difficult things for me. It was terrifying walking into the boardroom for the first time at the Jane Goodall Institute because I was really afraid to speak up. But I had to be bold, and I had to remember all of the young people that I was there to speak on behalf of. And so I thought to myself, not speaking up was simply a selfish act. All right, and lastly, I want to say that you as young people, have a magic power. You can see things that adults simply can't see. You can see the problems and opportunities that the older generation they don't see very well. Next slide, thank you. And so make sure you leverage this special power that you have for as long as you possibly can. All right, so I want to end with this. Remember my dream to be Jane Goodall. Sorry, go back one, please. My dream to be Jane Goodall's photographer and help her achieve her vision. Well, a month ago, that dream was fulfilled. Here I am in Gombe National Park in Tanzania with Dr. Jane, invited as the only official photographer to document the 50th anniversary of her pioneering chimpanzee work. Thank you. Thank you. So, for me, this was proof that if you work very hard, if you absolutely love what you do, and you're not afraid to dream too big, you can achieve just about anything. So, get out there and do great things. Thank you so much, and good luck.